Welcome to our class tonight, and get started here in just a second. All right, just get this up. Sorry about that. Man, you ever just have one of those days where you're about as busy as you can possibly be? All right, welcome. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. You got the screen up there looking good. We'll jump right into this. Yep. All right, so today the market finished up a little bit. It's kind of been a seesaw, seesaw a couple of days here. Now, talking about what we did on Tuesday, right? Tuesday of this week, we said we weren't going to pull the trigger on anything else unless we got over this little range, right? Which, go back now. This is where we were. We said we'll look for a pullback first, right? And then start finding strength, and then we'll go for it, unless the market gets over this range, which was and is still just this downtrend, right? A lot of people like to follow that stuff. And so today, yesterday we closed above it. Today we were able to close above it again. That gets a lot of attention. And so now I want to start looking for new positions to add to our list, even if we pull back a few days, right? We're looking for good stuff to put on our list here. Before we do that, let's take a look at our open positions, see where we're at. The positions that we have a quarter left, we've hit our first target already, are GIS and CREE, as you can see up here. GIS poked to new highs today briefly. Actually, it just hit, well, I thought it made new highs. Had an alert set for new highs, so maybe just the offer was at new highs, whatever. Anyways, looking good, holding highs, and if you notice on GIS, it doesn't really wiggle much when the market, we're going to have to deal with this for a while, this fiscal cliff where one side comes out and says something bad, the other side says something bad, then one side says something good, the other side says something good. Yeah, it's just the way it's going to go for a while. But if you notice, GIS doesn't really care too much. Drops a little bit and is right back on its way. So good strength on this one. We've got again, we only have a quarter of our position on this one. We've hit our first target already. We're looking for this little uptrend here to continue, really. So I'm going to open up my little spreadsheet too. All right, CREE. We hit our first target 2 days ago. $33 was our first target, remember. Looked like it was good timing. Now we've got CREE pulling back just a little bit. Again, you don't freak out on these days when it does that, right? Got a couple emails from people thinking, well, shouldn't we just get out of all of it? You're welcome to get out of all of it. Just keep in mind how we do things. We want to get quick profit targets out of the way, and then we want to hold and see, what are the chances that we get a big target? We've already got almost 12% locked, put in the bank either yesterday or the day before, and now we have some fun with it. We'll slowly raise our we'll slowly raise our stop and see if there's even an opportunity to add back. Okay, so that's the goal for me, anyways. When I look at this each day, my goal is I want to move these symbols up here. That means I've locked in 8, 10, 12%, and I'm going to just shoot for a home run on the rest of it. Okay, so that's the goal. Our newest position is CAM. And see, so when we hit the first target, we're just going to move it right up here. Take 3/4 off, leave a quarter, and have some fun with it, So CREE had a bad day, 6% in one day, not good. If we had a full position on still, I'd be a little bit concerned. But keep in mind why we picked 33 as our target. This is not magic, to see selling today is not some magic crystal ball thing that we have. It is just straight up price resistance. This is one market strategy. I'll show you on the weekly here. See the price resistance there. Right? People take profits in these areas. That's a very popular strategy. And our long-term indicators that people follow are overbought. Okay, so it's very common. You have people that sit there and say, "Oh, forget it. I don't use this stuff. I only use price." Great, they decided to take profits. Okay, and then you have people that say, "Well, I need all these indicators on my charts and big screens and 40 monitors and all that." That's fine. When they use this, it's telling them take profits. That typically, most of the indicators revolve around some sort of crossover of either one line to the other or some magic number that they come up with. So in this case, the long-term indicators are telling those people take their profits as well. Now remember, we will buy a stock whenever there are 2 or more popular strategies triggering, and we will sell a stock or shoot for a target at the same point where 2 or more popular strategies are telling people to take profits. Okay? We've had a good opportunity to kind of, really beat that point over the last couple weeks, and we're going to continue to do it. So CREE, obviously our worst performer for the day. Great timing, if you ask me, on that $33 target. And so now we'll sit back. We'll wait for little rallies to give us opportunities to raise our stop. Currently, the stop is only 4%. Should it fall all the way back down, it would have to get all the way back down to the 200 at this point. So, chances are we'll be just fine on the last quarter. Remember, Mondays are the day that we will adjust our stops. So we're not going to freak out and do anything here. Give it a couple days, let it settle down, see if more volume comes in or not, and we'll be able to decide by Monday. We're also not going to adjust our long-term target. You never adjust your target because of what the stock is doing. Adjust your target because the stock goes up. If you're long, you adjust your target because the stock moves above something that you expected it to stall at. Okay? Don't ever move. If you're long, don't move your target when the stock pulls back. You always make the wrong decision. And that's not, that's somebody else's. Somebody else said that. Somebody that wrote a book or something. One of those books I read. Okay, moving on. We've got NWL getting ever closer to our first target. Again, this one hopefully will be moved up to our long-term list here the next day or two. We're shooting for just over an 11% profit. Should we get it to $22? Currently, we're sitting at just over 10%, so we're almost there. The number is 22, which is the high of this bar, which is not real on my chart. So we've got 10% locked in, just shooting for a little bit more. Yeah, it seems like another day or two should get it there. I told you this one was slow, right? It's been creeping up. Well, there's nothing wrong with slow profits, so I'll alert you guys if it does get up there. It's very close, only a quarter, really, to go. So a small gap up tomorrow might take care of that. Make sure you have your orders in at $22. Again, if you're a short-term trader and you just like to play more positions in a shorter amount of time, okay, then take all your money off the table. You don't have to do it the way I do it. The reason I do it this way for the new people is because I don't know, unless you talk with me, which most of you do a good job of that, if you don't talk with me, I don't know whether you're this guy up here or this guy down here. If you like to play more symbols in a shorter time period, then you'll just hop in, hop out, and all that. If you like to just buy and check in every week or two and see how we're doing, then you'll just be this guy. You shoot for the longer target. Okay? No problem. All right, our oil names, SLB, right? You got a possible logo play going into tomorrow. I'm going to briefly review this one for those. We got a couple new people. Briefly review this for them. You're looking at the weekly chart. SLB is a great example of the 3 market strategies that we're looking for. There are others, but we focus on the 3 most popular ones, and they are price support. See the price support going back here, and the moving average. That counts under price support. So if we ever pull back to a 200 or a 50-day pullback like this, that counts as price support. Most of the time it lines up with it anyways. That's just the nature of moving averages. But that would fall under price support. Okay, so we have price support. All the people that like to play that, they're interested in that stock at that point. We have people that follow the indicators. Oh, there's 2. So we have 2 major strategies, not our strategies. These are other people's strategies. And then we have people that believe in the Fibonacci retracements. There's a guy locally here on the radio. He's got a huge following, and he believes in this stuff, and he does quite well. So We just assume that, you know, the people that follow him and everybody else that talks about that and has a good following, we'll assume that they're buying here as well. You can see the volume increase right there at that point, so that's a good thing. We have 3 popular market strategies triggering there, and so we wanted to look to get long on SLB. Remember, the idea here is this isn't my strategy. I don't claim to own any of these, but think about what happens if this stock goes all the way back down and goes under this low. You know that you were not the only person that was wrong on that play. You know that there's going to be all of these people wrong. They bet on either Fibonacci, price support, they bet on them indicators, and they'll be wrong. So it's a good feeling to know you're just playing along with everybody else, and if everybody else is wrong, you got to take your lumps right there with them. So I like that. Now, since we have all 3 there, what we did is we went over to our line chart, okay, and there's 2 things you could do. Usually I'll just go with the first one. We look for our Trading Wings logo, and we got that there just a couple days ago. Okay, looks just like the W in our logo. Now, one of the things that you could do to make it stronger, if you want to if you have a checklist of what you're doing, if you say, okay, step 1, find 2 or more of these strategies. Step 2, go to your line chart, wait for the logo play, and buy the stock. And again, you buy it over the middle part of our logo. One of the things you could do to add a little strength to it, if you want to be a little bit more picky, which isn't tough now, if we get into another bullish phase here in the market, you might add this to your list just because you'll have so many symbols to choose from. You really want to find the strongest. What you do is you look for relative strength, and this is so easy. I love the people that make a big deal out of this relative strength. If you use this chart right here, right, watch how easy you can make this. Okay, so the blue line is SLB. That's the stock. The maroon line is the market, and I'm talking about the spiders here. Okay, what you do is you say, before I get the logo play, right? Before I get in, meaning we watched it here, we saw this, and then I said, okay, if it goes over this number, buy it. Right? Now, right before you're getting ready to do that, what you do is say, okay, all I'm asking is that before I see this logo play, before I do it and get in, I'm asking for one day where the stock goes up, see it right there, and the market goes down. See, it's as plain as day right there. That's all you want right there. And then if you see that, right, before the logo, not during, or right here before it happens, then you know, okay, we have relative strength going into this logo play. Now you would go back and check once you're getting ready to get in, so like the night before. So you'd say, okay, well, I have it, okay, and got my little logo right there, and then if it goes up there, you say, I'm buying a stock with multiple market strategies and relative strength, just clear as can be right there. You can add that as a watch list. Usually, like I said, I only do it in bullish phases in the market, just so you can narrow it down to the best of the best. Okay? When the market's pulling back, like all through this time here, it helps to have that relative strength, but you're not going to have a lot of symbols to choose from anyways, so it's typically not a problem. All right, so that's one extra thing you can add. Now, going forward, there may be a new one. So if you're brand new with us, you know that we have all 3 market strategies right here. Okay. Now, going forward, you could say, well, we almost have another one right here. See how it went up, pulled back, and we don't know, like, if tomorrow it does this, then we will have another logo play. We have all 3 market strategies. That's just another way to get in. And it's really, all I do is, I'm just looking for a reason to tell you guys, okay, it is safe to go. I'm buying it, and you guys can buy it with me. That's what I'm looking for. You just need anytime you have a strategy where you're looking for something, you just need something to tell you when's it time to pull the trigger. And it really can be anything. Sometimes we use downtrend lines when we break a downtrend line, right? We have all 3 market strategies, and let's say on the daily it's a nice downtrend. You could buy it when it breaks the trend. That's a very, very popular thing to do, just as long as you have a reason. What you don't want to do is say, okay, I'm going to erase this here. What you don't want to do is say you're going back a few weeks and you go, oh, I see it. Look, it's coming all the way down. It got price support. I see the indicators there. I'm going to go ahead and jump in. Right? It's got all 3. You don't want to do that. By waiting for the logo play, you're always going to see the stock go up first take a little break, and then continue. That's what you want. You want to see other people jump in first, then take a little break, and then you get in. That's the nature of seeing a logo. That's why our logo is designed that way. So you can see how you get to stay out of all this junk, because in here, this right here, all of this is right here. This is those last couple weeks. See it? So if you're saying, oh, I'm just going to buy it, you could have bought here or here. You don't know where you're going to buy it, right? If you wait for a reason, mine, the one I like to use being the logo play, see how you don't, there's no logo in there. So you're saved. Really, the first one's right there. So this whole time you go, okay, we're down. We have all three strategies here. We just peaked up, and for a day it goes down, let's say, and you go, oh, I might have one, but nope, the next day it went down. Okay, same thing. And you go, then it gives you just avoided having to watch the stock go down, right? And maybe you wouldn't have got stopped out, but just think about now you're getting back to break even, whereas we're sitting with a little profit, right? So we've got some decent money in the bank actually here with this one, and I had a reason to get in after watching other people buy first. That's all I ask. Just I don't want to be the first in the pond. I've done that before, and it doesn't work well when you jump in. So that way it's a little less aggressive. Okay. So that's really kind of our emphasis there. Now here's the other one, the CAM. Going forward, now CAM's a little bit stronger. SLB and CAM, they're in the same group. These are oil service stocks. I'm sure most of you know that, but just in case. If you didn't, now you do. So CAM is a little bit stronger. Now, why would we say it's a little bit stronger? When you go look at SLB, one very popular thing is for, let's say not the big money managers like a JP Morgan and BlackRock and stuff, but your middle range guys, we'll say like $500 million down to $100 million in assets under management. A lot of them have these rules where they will not buy unless stocks are over these two moving averages. This is a 200 and this is a 50. It's just a simple way for them to filter through a ton of stocks and then hone in on ones they like a little bit better. And most of them will tell you what they do. If you look up a lot of those guys, you can actually see their strategies. And I mean, I've looked at just maybe hundreds over the years, so it's kind of neat. So SLB has yet to make it over that 50-day. So if I know that there's a whole group, a whole portion of the world that says I will not commit money to this stock unless it's over here, over these moving averages, well, you know that once it gets over there, you should see more of a following, more volume, more interest from there. Now, CAM has been closing above it. That's a good sign. We haven't really cleared our way out of it, but it's been closing above it. So that's why I would say that's a little bit stronger. We've come up off of our lows a little bit faster, and now it's over, at the moment, the 50-day. Okay, so we're looking good there too. Now, again, same deal here. We have, so the picture looks a little different, right? Wish I could just get that to not draw that line there. Okay, so on the weekly chart, it's the same. The picture's just a little bit different. See our Fibonacci line? Come all the way back here. People that like to follow that. We got our long-term indicators. We have no price support, right? Just these two. So we have 2 out of the 3. And we recently had a logo play. Yeah, we actually had 2 of them. Okay. Now going forward, and again, these are just reasons to jump in and start playing. Going forward, we might get another one. And this would be nice too, because this will be above that moving average resistance. So tomorrow or the next day, you might see that. Right? I hope we see that. So possible logo play there. Now, if you're already in the stock and you're sitting there watching, it's just confirmation. You just go, great, okay, other people are buying in right behind me. We got a good entry, it seems, and we'll go with that. Okay? If you are new and you like to join us, that's the part where you do it. And you could just dive in right there. Right? Now, for the people that are already in it, come Monday, if this does do these dots here, and close and gives us another logo play, then it gives us a reason to start reducing risk, because we see people buying behind us, so there's no sense in risking the initial 8% from here. Okay, so Pretty simple, right? I mean, hopefully we're keeping this. That's all it really needs to be right there. If you could just keep it simple. PKI, moving on, is also kind of a slower name, low volume, right? However, it's holding up near the highs. Right? Volume's good on green days. See how you got strong volume on the up days? Okay? Outweighs the volume on the down days. So that's a good sign. And we're just, waiting on it to make a new high. I hear somebody. Somebody else is here. Turned the mic on, didn't they? Found you. All right. That's better. Okay. So on PKI, let's just look real quick. This is one. It's holding at the highs. We don't have any real new logo play or possibility of a new logo play. So there's no real reason to get too aggressive raising up our stop at the moment. I'll tell you, if we do take out the highs, not a doubt that within a day or two we would hit our target. We're shooting for $33 on that, on PKI. But it's got to get over those highs first. If it can get, let's see, what is the high there? 30. That's right, 31.84. If it happens to get over those highs and we do get to 33, our first target's giving us 8%, and we'll go from there. This is a stock that just happens to keep going and going, right? It's at the highs. Everybody loves it. They keep buying it. Tons of strategies triggering in there. At this point, we're just looking to get to our first target and reduce our risk, okay? Now, going forward, I have some names on the long list here that I'd like to watch. I'll briefly review them with you, and then if you have any questions, we'll take them. Actually, someone sent me an email. Let me see. Let me make sure. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay. The first one is UPS. It is so it falls under transportation. Everybody knows who UPS is, but falls into the transportation sector. And let's just review it as if we're analyzing. Do we want to do it? Are we interested in this stock or not? First of all, the easiest thing to do is draw the Fibonacci line on the chart. Of course, mine doesn't seem to want to work. There we go. Okay, so we take a look at that and say, well, we've pulled back to the last Fibonacci line that I'll look at, which is 38. And if you're new, see the numbers here? If you're not familiar with Fibonacci, all you need to know is when you draw them on your charts, we go 50% is the best. We like that one the best. And we'll go one line above, one line below. We won't mess with these down here. These are the extreme lines, they would say. So the extreme pullback, the extreme rally. We won't look at those. Right in the middle. So we pulled back to the last one here. We do have Fibonacci players in, right? They're attempting to buy this stock. And we have our long-term indicator, the people that follow this stuff, headed up, right? Pretty strong reversal off the lows. So all we need now is a logo play. Okay. So we go over here, we look at our line chart and say, do we have anything just yet? Not really. Nothing. Okay, we're on our way. If we can get a couple days pullback, or maybe 1 or 2 days might be all that it takes, and then we'll look for the logo play. All right. So we're in patience mode. Came up on the, oops, there we go. So this one I want to look at is doing well, and it's back above the 50-day. That's a good sign. That's a strategy all in itself, like we talked about. We're waiting for a logo play there. So no number just yet, and the reason why is we haven't had our pullback day. Once we get our pullback day, even if it's just one day, that's the beauty part about it. Let's say we're up down here, we go up. Let's say just one day it pulls back. Well, you can see how we now have a high marked, and actually it's the closing price. We're not looking at the high. So we now have a number we can use, and I can post it and say, all right, hey, now if we get over this number, we're good to go. We don't have that yet, but that's one we're going to follow. We have 2 market strategies, and it's a popular name too, so might get a little attention. Okay. Potash, let's do this. Can we do a Fibonacci line here? Like this? Can't really do it. For when you mark from the high to low, we've pulled back all the way. So there's really no Fibonacci players in there. They have nothing to go on, right? What we do have are 2 other plays. We have price support. Right, we pulled all the way back down into some prior lows. People love that. You can see they're already buying it. And we have our long-term indicators saying, hey, the stock is oversold. and it's time for a bounce. So those people are thinking, all right, easy money, here we go. Now, for us, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look for a logo play, or, like I just said earlier, we can take, we'll just do a little makeshift downtrend line here and see how we're trying to break it. So the aggressive traders could say, all right, well, if we get over today's high, well, I'll buy that because that is over a downtrend. If you're not that aggressive, you say, well, I don't really like that. That's not an entry that I like. What you're going to do is what I'll follow and post. Hey, you're going to wait for the logo play. Okay, they've gone up. That won't work there. So let me cross that out. Okay. So we need to see a pullback. There you go. And a shoot from here. Okay. There you go. Got a couple days to go, maybe a week. We'll check it out. Aggressive traders can play over this high, but we're going to look for our logo. Okay. Got to look like our logo, and that is Potash. So 2 market strategies, waiting on a logo play. Or if you want to play the downtrend, go ahead. You're more than fine to do that. Moving on, we have text. See how the image? See how it's all kind of the same? We're looking in the same spot, just over and over and over again. Same symbols. We got to pull back here right into some price support and our Fibonacci line. The yellow line is our 50% line, right? And our price support's from over here. See it? So those two line up. Our long-term indicators are telling people, hey, time to buy. So we have 3 market strategies here. We need a logo play, or again, the aggressive traders, you can, you just need a reason to buy it. You could buy over this range right here. Okay, say it breaks out over whatever that number is, 24.50, right? There's a reason to buy it. I'll wait for a logo play. Hopefully we get one, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so again, 3 market strategies, waiting on a logo play, and just to keep going with this. Pull back, rally here, and should it pull back tomorrow, you'll be able to mark that close. You'll be able to say, okay, well, that's my number, and you'll be able to say, well, if it gets over 24.16 on the following day, I'm good to go. Good? Tell me if it's confusing. I try to give as many examples as possible, but I want to give examples of like ones that we're going to do when they do it, And that is text. It's a slower mover. Okay, so if you like the action, maybe not one to watch. Okay, all right. Deere, DE, agriculture name. Okay, we have a pullback here. Okay, early pullback for our Fibonacci players. They're already trying it out there a little bit. Right. We have price support in the same location. But we don't have our long-term indicators, so again, only 2. See how you mix them up? So you don't always have the same ones, or you don't have all 3, and that's fine. We prefer all 3. No big deal. Now you need a logo play to be a part of this. And really, we got one today. That closed up here. Closed a little higher than it looked like it was going to close. So you'd say, okay, well, that just barely gave us one, right? Let's see. Close was 84.46. And the close today was 84.86. Okay, so just barely gave us one today. So what you could say for tomorrow is if it pulls back a little bit, you might be able to get it back closer to that 84.86. But to put it out there, I would say, all right, just if it gets over 85, that's fine. Okay? The idea here is don't chase the stock once it's moved up about 2% from where you want to buy it at. This isn't day trading, so you don't have to nail it right on the penny. Most of us never do. But that's about as far as you want to go. All right, so DE is a possibility for tomorrow. Should it get over 85, and you just have a nice little logo play on a chart there. And the last one, a little pricey. Remember, if the stock's more expensive, don't be scared of it. Just buy less. That's all it is. Okay. CF, got a nice pullback into price support and our Fibonacci line right there, about 50%. Okay, now this one's kind of moving on its way without us, it feels like. So we'll see if it gives us a logo play, but this is a fast one. So this one moves kind of quick. It should, it's a $200 and some stock. We'll see if we get an opportunity on this one. But a lot of times, like if you know when Amazon comes up on a scan, or some of the ISRGs, some of the more faster high dollar ones, usually this is what you get. It's very hard to get a very clean logo play, and that's just because they're so quick. When they have good days, they just go and go and go. So we'll see. I mean, it's on the list. So those are some of the symbols I'm watching. And remember, going back to 2 classes ago, we were talking about why, and last class too, why were we going to focus on certain sectors, being agriculture and some of the semiconductors and things. We already have the semiconductor. But we were going to focus on those sectors because the sector ETFs look the same, right? If you could find sector ETFs that have 2 or more strategies triggering, then you know the whole sector has an opportunity. If you can find sector ETFs that have 3 popular strategies triggering, well, then you just go look at the symbols inside that sector and take it from there. Pretty straightforward. All right, so those are the symbols I wanted to review. Just wanted to catch you guys up on our open positions. And now that the market has made it over, or put it right here, now that the market is attempting, and it has made it over our downtrend line, even if we do see a little bit of a pullback, it should give us a better opportunity to show the last pullback for our potential logo plays. Remember the ones we talked about where they're moving up now, we need them to pull back a day or two, then we'll have a price to use. If we do get a couple days down, or we finish red tomorrow, that'll be enough to set up for Monday. All right. So all in all, looking pretty good. Got some good profits on the table. We're hopefully going to hit a few targets here soon. NWL is really the closest. PKI if it can get over the highs. And free up some cash, yeah. Yeah, you don't have to make it every week. It's recorded. We'll post it on the page for you. You should be able to just log in and check it out. What platform do we use to do this trading? I use ViewTrade's platform. Company's name is ViewTrade Securities. Soon to be releasing a new website. Their platform is the ViewTrade Elite. This is the platform of ViewTrade Elite. It is their platform. They own it, make the changes to it, and all that happy stuff. And I like it because there isn't a lot of crap on there. And I say that, I know that doesn't make me sound very educated, but I don't like the junk. I've been pretty much everywhere else, and I just don't like to learn. I don't want to search for hours just to find one thing. Let's put it that way. I try to keep things simple. Yes, sir. ViewTrade is their name. They've been around for a long time. They're just now, what they used to do was, or what they still do right now is mainly working with other brokers around the world. Now they're going to do some open up to retail in the United States only. So I have to check that out. Actually, what do they charge? So it depends. Last check, they do it depends if you're going to do day trading as well. They're open to working with you whether you do, if you want the per share charge. If you're going to do a lot of day trading as well, they can work with that. Put you on a per share plan. For the longer term investors, they'll do per trade as well. Or if you're like a rebate guy, you do that sort of thing, they just charge you per trade. Yeah, they work with ViewTrade. Yeah, oh, I made their videos. I did. Did you see their tutorial videos? I take it you're in Israel, hopefully staying safe. So Ellie, it's view trade, V-I-E-W. Like I can view the trade. Yeah, you're welcome. Actually, if you want to talk directly to somebody, let me see if I can get. They have a kind of a temporary page up at viewtrade.com, and then just click on contact. The guy I talked to, his name is Tom. And Tom, I guess I'd get you a direct number if you want to just cut all the nonsense out and go right to somebody. Or just call that, yeah, call the number on there and just ask for Tom. That way you just skip all the voices, you know, the prompts and all that. He's a nice guy. And then hopefully they'll have their main site up here soon. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Remember, we are getting into that holiday season too, and so far the volume's been okay. Usually, you feel it really start to drop off. So far, pretty good. I'm impressed. Probably because of the fiscal cliff stuff. I'm sure the brokers just love this. You know, the middle of the day like drops and all the stops get taken out. And people dive back in, and that volatility's got to be great for them. They have leverage. Yeah, they're no different than, you know, TradeStation or Scottrade, E-Trade. Same deal. Yep. A little more for day traders. Leverage, that is. Going into tomorrow, yep, and I'm going to post it as over 85 for the new trade. Now, if you want to take a shot, I won't track this, and I'm not going to buy it. I'm just letting you know I wait for the logo play. But if you want, you probably do well and get in a little bit earlier over 24.50 on Tex, and then it wasn't UPS, it was POT, P-O-T, right, breaking out of here. The only logo play is going to be this DE. I'm going to post it as 85 for the trigger. That way we're clear of all this, the moving average. Get over the prior high, too. You got it, mister. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening, wherever you are at in the world. I'm going to take the screen down, wrap it up. If you guys have any other further questions you think about in the middle of the night or during the day, feel free to email me anytime, Dustin@tradingwings.com. Good night.